All right. What do you remember about our land change project that we did last year? What's something you remember, Rayleigh?
I remember in the past a lot of people used carrots with horses, and in the future, I remember somebody, I think it was Nathan, mentioned solar-powered cars and rockets and flying saucers. And
Okay. What do you remember, Sophia, about what the land was like 200 years ago?
200 years ago, the land was like full of grizzly bears and stuff, and if there was a gunshot, then I remember it said that the sky would go black because there were so many birds in the sky.
Uh-huh. And if you walked outside of Peralta 200 years ago, Martin, what might you have seen?
I would see a lot of black in the sky.
Black in the sky, and what would that be?
It would be like a lot of birds.
Okay.
oh,
And who lived on the land then?
just there were a lot more coyotes, and if it would be very normal seeing a coyote outside right in our neighborhood,
Yeah. What else might we see in our
prowling,
neighborhood? What other animal might we see in our neighborhood?
like bobcats, lynx.
Anything else you can think of?
Well, I could think of probably maybe if you lived down by the bay, you would probably see a couple of beached whales now and then.
Okay.
There and like a coyote, a mountain lion, and like I don't know, everything else that we think is like, oh my God, I'm so lucky I got to see that. Oh look over there. Oh my God, there's like a deer or a mountain lion. It would be just like seeing a dog or a cat.
It would be that normal. And how did things change 100 years ago? So 200 years ago, it had all these animals. How did things change for 100 years ago? Martin, do you remember?
Well, not really. Like,
What would you have seen if you were at Peralta? Do you remember what Peralta looked like?
it was like a really small school.
And what was all around it?
Like a lot of trees.
Would you have, if you had walked out of your house 100 years ago, would you have seen mountain lions and grizzly bears and things right here? How is it different, Sophia?
Well, you know, because people would be like moving in, and there would be kind of small towns, and you might see like a couple of small houses or something, but you wouldn't see as many animals and things. You would try and basically avoid them, and people would like try and there wouldn't be like as many because people would be hunting them. And also you would see a lot more horses and people and stuff.
Okay. How is it different from today? How did people get around, really, 100 years ago?
Like they used horses on carrots, or carrots, well, wagons, and at the school had like Peralta had like 20 people who went to the whole school, and
how did the kids get here?
there were no highways, but there were streets. They used wagons and horses, and sometimes they would just walk.
And do you remember what Telegraph Avenue was like 100 years ago?
I think, well, you wouldn't like see a lot of cars like you do see now. I mean, like you would mostly see like maybe some really, really old-fashioned cars or something.
Who had those old-fashioned cars?
The rich people.
The rich people.
And
if people didn't have their own horse and buggy, what did they use? Do you remember what was on Telegraph?
Oh yeah,
there was
a bus, a kind of carrot bus that they used with
kind of what?
There was this type of bus.
What was it like?
Pretty big.
Was it did it have an engine?
Nope.
What made it go?
Horses.
Horses. Okay, so it was a horse bus. All right. And Martin, how is it different here nowadays? What do we see around us now?
Well, like a lot of houses and roads,
And what's on the roads?
cars.
And what has that meant for our environment?
A bunch of pollution and global
Pollution.
warming.
Now, last year when we did our project, we imagined that we were inventors for the future. What did you invent for the future?
Well, I think we might have like talked about solar powered cars. I think some of us talked about flying saucers that could take you to the moon whenever you liked, and like a lot of and it's like things that would not be as hard to do. Like there would be little helicopter things flying all around the place from flying saucers and stuff. That's
Now,
what they
why
said.
would people want to have solar powered cars? Why bother? Why don't we just keep on having gas cars? Why do you think, Martin?
Because if we have solar powered cars, we would have no pollution.
Okay. All right. Why do you think? Why was it important to learn about how the land around Peralta had changed over 200 years ago, and how it might change in another 100? Why do you think that was important?
Pass it on to other people so that they could stop all the animals from getting extinct.
Okay. Stop
And
the animals
stuff.
from getting extinct. What might be another reason why we would have studied this?
Well, maybe because it would help us get top marks on our history lessons later when we go
It
to
might help you
high
get top
school or
marks in
something.
history. What do you hope that you get to see around you when you're 108, Rayleigh?
Solar powered stuff and probably something like cars made out of batteries.
What do you
And-
hope you get to see still when you're 108, Sophia?
Well, I hope that nothing is extinct, really.
Okay.
Nothing goes
No
extinct.
animals are extinct. What else do you
Yeah.
hope?
I also hope that, the solar power car part, and so like there wouldn't be as much pollution, and that's basically pretty much.
Okay.
Okay, good. Thank you so much, you guys.